Don't worry about how your age is. Just when you get to a point, you will know when you need to really prioritize yourself. Hey ladies, how you doing? So, I want to talk about self-care tips for women over 40. Yes, 2022 is going to be an amazing year, not just for me, but for you too, and for everybody. We have to get into this self-care. There was a time where self-care wasn't on the list for me. I would feel guilty if I did something for myself, or I wouldn't even prioritize it. I felt like, what? Self-care? Self-care what? Why? But as I've gotten older, I've come to realize if I don't take care of myself, nothing is going to happen over here. Not just for myself, but for anybody that's in my house or anybody else outside. Self-care is so important. But you know what? Self-care looks different to everyone. Self-care is not the same. So I'm just going to share some tips that I think that are important for us women. And I really enjoy these self-care tips. So let me give you 3. First tip, skincare. I believe skincare is so important. There was a time where I wasn't using the proper skincare for myself. I felt like, oh, I could just use something that was for normal to combinations. I felt like there were some parts of my face that was dry, some parts that were oily, some parts that were normal. But when I really look deep into it, I do have dry skin. So now I just make sure that I use the proper skincare. Yes, you guys know I do like a matte foundation, which will suck the life out of you if you have dry skin like myself. However, I do have dry skin and I like to use a lot of hydrating skincare products because it just helps me, you know, in addition to drinking water. I'm going to get into that water thing later. But I also believe that changing your skincare according to seasons, because, you know, even though I may have dry skin, there's certain things that I may use in the winter that I may not use in the summer and spring months. Prime example, my moisturizer. Even though I have dry skin, I may use a lighter moisturizer versus a heavier cream on my face in the winter. So, you know, skincare is important. Find what works for you and treat yourself. You know, do nice little spa days at home. You will be surprised how good you will feel because you're tending to yourself. You know, you're appreciating yourself. Tip number 2, eating clean. I think I mentioned to you in several videos ago that I have a nutritionist at the moment. I have a nutritionist, and the reason why I got a nutritionist is because my therapist. I felt like I wasn't really eating good. I felt like I was just putting anything in my system, and I felt like it was making other issues go on with me. So eating clean will also make you feel good, especially if you're intaking certain things that you need. Like for me, I need to take in a lot of fiber. So now I do love apples. So getting into the whole fiber thing, if I don't want to eat like grains and different things like that, eating apples has fiber in the skin. So things like that will, you know, keep things moving, keep things flowing, you know, get that fiber in. In addition to eating clean and keeping your body feeling really good, stay away from processed foods. Processed foods is my jam. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a struggle for me. I am a sucker for some lunch meat, sandwich meat, cold cuts, whatever you choose to call it. I am a sucker for that because I do enjoy cold sandwiches. You know, if you go into like, you know, your Jimmy John's or whatever, I like those, and I like to make them at home, like going to the grocery store getting like your boar's head or whatever. I love it, but I had to come to realize that it wasn't doing me no justice. So I have to leave a lot of processed food alone. Now I still go through drive-thrus and things like that, but I do minimize it a ton. I do cook a lot at home because it's better for me and it helps me with my clean eating, and it helps with keeping things in order with this body, because y'all, me cutting out fast food has changed a whole lot for me because woo. And another thing with eating clean, getting in your veggies. You know, even if you're one who doesn't like to eat veggies in its whole state, you know, if you can, you know, juice, blend, all that good stuff. Me, I love spinach, I love kale, but if I want to get a lot of it in, I will blend it in with some water, or I'll blend it in with like a smoothie with some protein powder and make something, you know, along those lines, and I will intake it just so I can get those veggies in, because that is another source of fiber to keep things moving. Ladies, you will be surprised how much we hold in our system, and you guys know what I'm talking about. If we just intake a lot of veggies, fiber, which is fruit. These are natural. And drink that water, we will be amazing. Tip number 3, movement, exercise. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm some gym junkie, because I am not a gym junkie. However, some form of movement will help you in so many different ways, and it'll make you feel good. It will help you release, I think it's called endorphins. Like, you just feel so much better. And it took me a minute to realize that, because I was so lazy. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I was very lazy. All I wanted to do was sit still. But then when I started going to therapy and realized how much I was holding in, and my therapist recommended hot yoga, which I have not tried yet, but some of you may know from years, maybe not years ago, but from maybe 2 years. No, more than 2 years, because the pandemic. So I want to say in 19, so right before the pandemic, I was doing Pilates. And y'all, Pilates is something, I just started back doing Pilates, enjoying it. I went for a free class with one of my old coworkers, and we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm thinking about signing back up, but I don't want to go to that particular club because it's a little bit too far for me. However, Pilates is nice. And if you can't go do Pilates, yoga I hear is really nice. I have not tried it yet. My therapist telling me to try hot yoga versus regular yoga. I'm like, why do I have to do hot yoga? Why can't I do regular yoga? But he's recommending hot yoga. And if you feel like you don't want to pay for a membership for a gym, or if you don't want to do Pilates or yoga or anything like that, YouTube will give you all the free stuff. I'm thinking about not even doing the hot yoga. I think I want to just try it. I do a free class, but I really feel like I'm going to just do the free class, not get a gym membership again, and I'm just going to utilize YouTube. And not only will I be doing the comfort of my own home, I'll be helping out someone else's channel. So I'm thinking about doing that because I want to spread some love, on YouTube. So I think about doing that. That's good. Tip number 4, setting boundaries. Now you may say, Kelly, what do you mean setting boundaries for self-care? Let me tell you something. Individuals will drain you. So if you know you have individuals in your life that are toxic, draining, careless, and they just don't care about you, all they worry about is themselves, set your boundaries. That is a part of your self-care. That is a part of self-care. I don't care what nobody say. Setting boundaries. I'm going to give you an example. There is someone in my life that only calls me when they need something. Anytime they're in a bind, they call me. But they never call to say hello, how you doing, or anything like that. Or check on my kids, my mom, anything. But when they need something, they call me. And the last few times they called me, I got all engulfed in their situation. And guess what? It drained me. So I don't want to feel drained anymore. I don't want to take on nobody else's energy. They say, this is someone, right? And then you touch them, and then somehow that vibration gets into you. Before you know, you're all caught up in their toxicity. No, we don't want that. So a part of my self-care, and that's with anybody, I set boundaries. And I'm at a point now in my life where if I know I got something going on in my life, and I know it's a lot, and that's what I'm talking about often, may not be with nobody, but to myself, I won't pour that onto nobody. So I'll keep my distance because, I got a lot going on, so just as well as I don't want somebody to come to me with their mess and I'm setting my boundaries, I'll have boundaries for other people. Like, Kelly, don't do what you don't want done to yourself, if that makes any sense. So setting boundaries is definitely self-care. Tip number 5, alone time. I love me some alone time. I don't know about you, but I'm a homebody. I love my alone time. Even if I'm not doing anything, it doesn't even have to be I'm sitting at home having a glass of wine. I could just be sitting at home, took a shower, and I'm just chilling on the sofa. I'm chilling in the bed, just being by myself. I love alone time. Alone time will give you the opportunity to think about so many different things. Things that you want to improve in your life, things that you want to get rid of in your life, things that you want to, like I said, improve, enhance. You just think about so many different things, relationships, career, everything. So alone time is important. So things that you can do in your alone time, things that I have done in my alone time through recommendations of my therapist. See how I'm passing on the gems? Meditation, journaling, and devotion. These three things have become staples in, like, say, I don't want to say a morning routine because sometimes I don't have time in the morning to do that. It's just some part of my day I am doing it. I have learned now to incorporate it like this during the middle of my day, since I do work from home. It's good to start your day off like that if you can, because you want all the good vibes. However, you have to figure out your life and how it fits for you. Just because one person may sit and say, oh, I wake up in the morning, I drink water, and now I'm meditating. That doesn't work for me. I get up in the morning, I'm still trying to figure out where I am. So when I get up in the morning, yes, I go to the bathroom, do what I have to do, but I'm waking up my daughter so she can get herself together. Yes, I could wake up earlier and I can have my alone time, in the morning. But again, like I said, I work from home, so I can schedule that stuff in, because I do have breaks during the day and I do have a lunch. So I choose to do it that way, because it's not like I'm at the job and I'm at that hustle and bustle to where I'm trying to go get something to eat or I'm trying to heat up something that I bought from home. I pick and choose it that day. So you have to do what's best for you. But I do feel like journaling, I do feel like out of all three, the journaling, meditation, and devotion, journaling has been like the best for me. Meditation, I'm still trying to, get that in, because with meditation, sometimes my mind can shift. And that's just being totally honest. I could be sitting here, okay, I'm just going to have a clear mind. I won't think about anything. Just, listen to my surroundings and just feel, I just want to hear my heartbeat. I'm thinking about what happened at Walmart, the lady that tripped in aisle 5. I'm thinking about everything under the sun. So I'm just trying to really not master, but grasp it, if that makes any sense. And if you have any tips, please tell your girl, because I want to know. But I do know meditation is good. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, but most of the time I don't get it. It may have been maybe one time that I've actually meditated and it actually, oh wow. But every time it's always, I'm in and out, I'm in and out. I feel like I'm on life support. One moment I'm in, one moment I'm out. My final tip is treat yourself. Treat yourself like you're dating yourself. And I mean that. Like, I haven't gotten myself flowers in a while, but I do buy myself flowers. I really like flowers. And they don't have to be expensive flowers. I mean, once they look nice, they look fresh, and they, they're at, the proper state they're supposed to be in to, make you feel good, or whatever you like. If it's at the grocery store, because I'll get some from Trader Joe's. They're very affordable flowers there. Or if I'm really feeling fancy, I'll order me some from, some flower shop and have them delivered. It's okay to do that. I gift myself all the time. It can be a massage. It can be a perfume. It can be something luxury. Whatever you feel you deserve, because you deserve it all. So if you know that you're going through something, or you've been doing really good by yourself, that's a part of self-care. Give yourself whatever your heart desires. And that's where I am. Recently, I just bought I just bought myself some fragrances. However, I was replacing them because my daughters, I had to give them mine. But still, I could just say, you know what? I don't need it. But I know I need it and I deserve it. So I treated myself and I got myself the fragrances again. Treat yourself. From small to big. It doesn't really matter. And that's where I'm at in my life. These are some of the tips that I am going by, and I'm utilizing them, and I'm implementing them in my life, and I'm seeing the difference. I am, before I wasn't really sharing these things with you guys, but let me tell you something. Choose yourself first. Yourself comes first before anybody. So, in saying all of that, these are my 6 self-care tips for women over 40 or any woman, period. Don't worry about how your age is. Just when you get to a point, you will know when you need to really prioritize yourself. And don't let no one tell you anything different. Okay? So I want to say hey to all my new subscribers, hey to all my loyals. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you next video. Bye.